Anyways, I'm gonna be ranking the One Piece characters by how strong I think they are. Okay, I haven't seen a lot of these characters. First thing, I'm in Thriller Bark right now. Okay, I'm in like halfway through Thriller Bark, and I'm just gonna be guessing on a lot of these guys. I know some of them. I know some of their agendas. I know Mihawk painted his sword black. Okay, and stuff like that. However, I don't know a lot of these characters. I don't know where they're gonna be. I've seen some spoilers. Obviously, it's like not expecting to get spoiled that Goku goes Super Saiyan. I know some of these spoilers. So starting off, we got this guy, right here. No idea who he is. D tier. Now, if I don't know you, then you're not good enough to be in the slander that I've heard about some of these characters. So I know that you're not strong. That's how I see it. If I've seen slander about you, you're probably maybe a little strong. So now Sanji, I feel like Sanji potentially again, he just got fire powers in any his lobby. So I'm guessing he's like B C tier. He doesn't seem that strong. He doesn't seem that strong. If he has fire powers, but like half the other characters do. Ace has fire powers. He gets one shot by a Kainu, and a Kainu, I'm just gonna say, is like C tier. Just saying. I don't like that guy. A Kainu, cause he got folded, right? He's dead now. So I think if he's dead, then he has to be a little weak. Just saying. Just saying. I should probably get done with the characters. I have no idea who they are. Say quickly. I don't know who you are. I know who you are. I haven't got your arc yet, but is that two Boa Hancocks, or are those different people? I'll just rank them the same, probably. Um, I know all these people. I know all these people. Is this Rayleigh? No, that's Rayleigh. Who the heck are you? I don't know. Get out of here. Any other slander people I've never heard of? There's Roxy Zebek. I know him. Is that not two Big Moms, or is this like gangster Big Mom? And is this not two white or black beards? Okay, I think they got like pre-time skip, post-time skip potentially. Other than that though, I think I know everyone else. I think I know everyone else. Okay, yeah. The Kainu, I think he's dead, so he's not strong if you're dead, Loki. Um, and Sanji, I just don't see him getting that strong. You know, in my opinion. Now, Kid, I've heard some terrible slander on. However, I think he's A tier. I've heard some terrible slander on this man's name. Okay, I believe Eustace Kid. I haven't even met him in the story. I know he's strong. He's Magneto, bro. He's Magneto. Magneto's like the strongest, like X-Men kind of character. So I feel like that kind of puts him in the running for maybe strongest character ever. If he's the strongest in X-Men, who are like fighting gods. Yamato, I don't know a lot about them. I think probably C. They just have a club, right? And let's just put Sabo. Okay, Loki, all the fire users, I'm just gonna put down like the same because they're all like the same. Ace is dead. Sabo's just like the Oda's like potential man character. I think he's just like, oh, I'm Luffy's brother. I'm also the strongest. I'm also the leader of the Revolutionary Army. You know, I know that. I know that. Zoro. I think A. I think A. Straw Hat. I think he's like top three of Straw Hats potentially. Out of the strength. So I think that's why I'm gonna put him at. Marco. Um. So Marco has Phoenix powers, which just means that he has like fire and flight. So I'm going to say he's like he's like, okay, we need an F tier. you're becoming F tier. You're becoming D tier. Tier, you're C tier. You're B tier. You're A tier, and then we add a tier above. Add a tier above, and we make it purple. No, that made that purple. And this is now S. Just so that everyone knows, that's S tier. So I'm just gonna move these guys up. I think Marco is in like the kind of B tier of, I think he's probably strong. He is the new Whitebeard, correct? Don't spoil me, but he is the new Whitebeard, I think. So I think that's where he goes. Law is could be stronger if he locked in. I think that's Law. Because couldn't he just kill like half the characters in the story if he just kind of locked in and just like, started surgically removing stuff? So then I think this guy, I think I know him. I don't know his name. Doesn't he just make plants? Because if he's the plant guy, then he kind of just gets countered by like half the characters, man. Half the characters in the story use some kind of fire powers. Like, look at this. Like, we basically have a little wiener here. Okay, we have a little wiener out of all the fire characters. Okay? So I think he just gets hard countered by the story. Now we got Boa Hancock. She's really tall. And she can, like, freeze, like, stone people. Ooh, I think that okay, I think we make another tier. I know we already making, like, so many tiers. But I don't feel like it's fair not ranking these guys. Don't know. Don't know. So now we get to another F tier. And let's make this one, like, I don't know, green. Or no, we already have light green. Dark green. A little darker green. We move these guys down. Because doesn't she just not work on women? Potentially? Because isn't it like you fall in love with her and then she turns you to stone? So, really, if you're a woman, potentially you don't get harmed by her. Right? Correct? It's like Sanji being hard countered by like every woman. In like Jump Force. Kizaru, he has light power, so I think he's like A. I played him in Blox Fruits a lot, like a long time ago. Because I had his fruit. And like, if you're Loki the speed of light, aren't you just like really fast? Because that's like Sonic the Hedgehog. And you can make like a light sword out of it. So yeah, I think you're probably strong. Kizaru, so I've seen Kizaru. Or is this Aokiji? No, yeah, this is Aokiji. I've seen Aokiji. I think he's pretty strong. He has ice powers. So he kind of hard counters. Well, he gets hard countered by like Sanji, Sabo, Ace if he was still alive, Marco, and Akainu. So he kind of gets hard countered. I feel like we should just have another new tier. We're adding a few tiers, man. We're a little bit of a few tiers kind of guy. So this is blue because every character here just gets like new. Blue. This is the hard counter tier. I feel like this is a pretty good tier. You're kind of just hard countered if you're these two. Because, like, half the characters have fire powers. So, like, Loki, in Pokemon, ice is weak to fire and also grasses. So, I believe that potentially you might just be hard countered in life. It's like having, well, not fire powers, because half the characters have fire powers, but, like, it's like having, like, you can't move powers in a moving plane. That kind of sucks. Okay. Next up, we have... I forget his name, if I gotta be honest. I know he's from Wano. I know he's a really good swordsman. Which, like, there's another swordsman here. Also from, Wano. Who slayed a dragon. Okay? He slayed a dragon, however, he's dead. Which my tax on dead people. Dead people immediately go down here. Plus, he got killed by Zoro, man. He got defeated by Zoro, which is not like, too terrible of a feat to hit. Like a lot of people would probably die to Zoro. But however, he died to pre-time skip Zoro, which I believe should play in. Now, I think I'm not gonna look up his name. I don't think I should do research on any of this. This is all off the dome. He's like maybe C, because I think he was like a guy that fought Kaido, essentially. And like Kaido had Gear 5 Luffy, which if you don't want to get spoiled here, I'm just gonna put this down here. I think that Luffy, Loki maybe could be stronger if he locked in. He's not locked in, bro. He has to lock in, get Gear 6, so he can finish the One Piece, bro. Where's Emu on this, by the way? I think Emu should be included on this. So yeah, I think like maybe D. I think probably beats Boa Hancock, unless he looks at her. Again, I think it's like love, and unless they're a lesbian, that is a chance. But I don't know any lesbian One Piece characters. So, well, there's some people that would say that, two of the main Straw Hats are lesbians, but we don't have to talk about that. Julie Bonnie. Now, I think this is the same Bonnie that I've seen clips of on Twitter. So she has like imagination powers, correct? She can imagine, being Gear 5. Correct? Correct? Am I correct? Don't answer that. But she can imagine herself as Gear 5. She could imagine herself as, being stronger. She could imagine herself as the One Piece. She could be the One Piece. I don't think that would be a great ending, because isn't she 7? Also, which, I don't think a 7-year-old should be like, someone who's not even born when One Piece first, started, which I wasn't either, but still, I don't think that should be it. Anyways, yeah, she has imagination powers again, or is that Elbath? Because I think Elbath is also imagination powers, from what I've seen on Twitter. Now, Garp is Luffy's father. So that obviously puts him high. Now, I did see that he was kind of soloed recently, I believe, by Aokiji, which, should make him in, that. But I think he's like A. He's strong. He can throw cannonballs, from what I've seen. He can throw cannonballs, and he had a pretty good fight scene, potentially, recently. Very recently. He had maybe a good fight scene. We don't really know. Let me change down the volume on this. I don't know if that's loud or anything. I can't. Okay, well, now it's not even playing. I guess like there. Negative 51.9 decibels. Mihawk. Now, obviously, I could go on the fraud agenda piece of Zoro let him scar him in post time skip, and also his sword is painted black. I'll just put him C. I don't know. It's like Shanks, bro. You don't know what he has. It's all just agenda. I'm just agenda posting. Let's just. Should we make another tier, or should I just say that he's B and Shanks is maybe? I don't know who this lady is. I don't know why I kept her. I think she's part of the lore of like whatever island not Nico Robin. Boa Hancock's island, correct? I don't know. She also seems giant, so she might be, D tier. Also, who is this guy? I guess he's world government, so I guess. So now we got both Big Moms. So now we got Gangster Big Mom, and we got regular Big Mom. So I think regular Big Mom was beat recently, like in Wano. So I would say that she is maybe D tier, but I think she's pretty strong. So maybe put her at C. And I think Gangster Big Mom is the same, but I think Gangster Big Mom's a little more gangster. So, she has like a do-rag on. So I guess I should just say do-rag, Big Mom. But I don't know what I'm saying, man. I don't know what Big Mom has done. I haven't got to Whole Cake Island. I thought Katakuri was the main guy of Whole Cake Island because I've seen him in, cards and stuff. I haven't seen a lot of Big Mom love. Or is this Lin Lin? I think I understand it now. This is Lin Lin. This is Big Mom on the cards. So then this is Marshall D. Teach, and this is Blackbeard, obviously. Kaido's pretty strong. Kaido locked in. Kaido locked in, Loki. So I think he's maybe our first S. He is dead, I believe. He got beat by Luffy. So he may be dead. However, he did lock in. Could be stronger if he locked in. If he locked in. He locked in. So I think maybe. Well, he did get beat by Gear 5 silliness, so maybe not. Shanks is agenda piece. Shanks, he lost he lost his arm because he's stupid. He was stupid. Why would you lose your arm, man? You could have easily used Conqueror's Hockey and just, I used Conqueror's Hockey on my brother. What was the SPS of that? I need to read to that SPS. I'm really excited to read that SPS. But yeah, Shanks, I guess, man. I guess. I don't know anything about Shanks. He's probably stronger than a lot of these guys. He's probably like top A. He is a 4 Emperor. He is a 4 Emperor. He is a 4 Emperor, by the way. Buggy, Shanks, Luffy, and Blackbeard are 4 Emperors. So, why isn't Buggy on here? By the way, I think Buggy is low key kind of strong. He can like just remove his body. Low key. So now we got both things with Blackbeard. I think Blackbeard's pretty strong. He has two devil fruits. I think. I believe so, because he's in anime tower defense games. That is how half my power scaling is going to be coming from. If they're in an anime tower defense game and they're pretty strong in it, on Roblox. Luffy's never strong in these, so he's like a rare. Anyways, yeah, he has like slow. He has black hole, and he has quake, right? Where he can just like break the fabric of reality. I think low key is this pre-time skip has a lot of black people. Post has none. Correct? That's how you know if it's post or pre, because like Usopp was like really black in like pre-time script. That sounds pretty racist, but I'm just saying like he was a lot darker than he is now. They whitewashed him. So Loki, if this is like pre-time skip Whitebeard, then he's probably still high. He's probably still high, I would say. So Goldie Roger, Loki is not locking in. Okay, he could have survived probably. If he had Conqueror's Hockey, he could have just made them all like get scared. So like Loki, he did not lock in his execution. He could have Loki just used like Conqueror's Hockey. Like the Marine guys are not even that strong, man. These Marines are not strong. These Marines are barely doing anything, man. They're all just like, oh, well, I'm here. Like those guys that were killing him. They didn't have Conqueror's Hockey, I think. They didn't have armament hockey. So, maybe really Goldie Roger is just not locked in. He's not locked in. Whitebeard, low-key, he died. He did die, I think. He was on like his deathbed though. So, I think he's probably like high C. No, he's like low B. Low B because he's dead. If you're dead, you can't go very high. If you're dead, you can't go that high. So, if you're dead, well, sucks to suck, man. So this is Rox D Zebek, and this is Monkey D Dragon. Monkey D Dragon has like weather powers. And low-key, weather powers are not that good. He is Luffy's father, I think. But, are we really saying weather powers are that strong? Nami has weather powers, like a weather staff. Does that mean that she's like the strongest automatically? No, I don't think that she's probably stronger than Chopper. But like I don't think that she's like armament hockey Luffy level. But like, okay, also Nico Robin Loki need to lock in. Okay, she can like snap half these people's necks. Why don't she do that? Anyways, yeah, I think D. Roxy's the bag. Man, I've heard that he's really strong. I've heard that he's really strong, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Now he has aura. That's the thing. He has aura, but at the same time, having a lot of aura, and also I've heard that he's really strong, does kind of make it you very. I think we should put them both in the same tier, man. They look similar, so they're both evil looking. So you know, I think we just put them in the same tier. How about that? With Boa Hancock and Odin. I think he's Odin, correct? That's his name. Silver's Riley. Um, isn't he just the hockey guy? Doesn't isn't his only power having a lot of hockey? So Loki, you're kind of weak, man. Everyone has hockey. What makes you so special? Well, I guess he's old though. He's old. Old people go low. Okay, you see my treatment of old people. I don't think they go high. So this is Buddha, correct? This guy has like the Buddha fruit, and Loki the Buddha fruit looks strong. If I gotta be honest, the Buddha fruit looks strong. You turn into like a big like light thing. So Loki, I think you're pretty strong, Buddha man. So this is Whitebeard's son, I believe. He is fat. He is fat, which does kind of make it so then he's not that strong. But I think he's weaker than his father. But I don't. I think he doesn't beat Big Mom in a fight potentially. If Big Mom and him were in a fight, I think Big Mom Loki beats him or Lin Lin. If we're talking about the the do rag one, the do rag Big Mom there. Now we got King. King is Loki just hyped up. King just has aura. He's hype moments and aura, man. So Loki, I'm just gonna put him down low, man. I don't care. He's hype moments and aura, correct? He only has like 2 minutes of screen time in the manga. So whenever I see him versus Zoro, I'm gonna be like, wow, this fight kind of sucks. And then everyone's gonna be like, no, no, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's actually really good in the anime. And I'm like, no, man. So okay, also we're putting down other Boa Hancock with the other Boa Hancock. I think these are the same people. Um, Now we got Don Flamingo. Don Flamingo has aura. Okay, Don Flamingo has aura. I think he's like A. He had like string power. He has string power, so he could just like chop all these people up. I think he's pretty strong. Pretty strong. He did get beat by Luffy though in Gear 4, so Gear 5 Luffy kind of dog walks him potentially. So yeah, Rob Lucci just has like furry powers, but he did come back and fight with Gear 5 Luffy, which is something that we haven't seen, or I think we haven't seen Don Flamingo or Blackbeard up here do yet. So potentially, he's pretty strong, and he was on par with. I think he still gets beat by pre-time skip Blackbeard though. But like, I think Rob Lucci's pretty strong. He has furry powers, which like potentially makes him like, well, no, he has furry powers, but they're good. They're good furry powers. And also, again, he did fight Luffy in Gear 5. So if Gear 5 Luffy is supposed to be like the strongest thing ever, with like all the Joy Boy stuff, why isn't Rob Lucci higher? He was on par with him. Now this guy is from Impel Down. I haven't made it to Impel Down, and I don't know what he does. But he's also pre-time skip, he is Impel Down's like guy, so he's probably pretty strong, man. If we have to think about it, okay, Impel Down is where all the worst criminals go, so potentially he's pretty strong, man. Anel, I think dude. This is Anel is the definition of hard counter. I think he's S tier, but he's hard countered by the strongest guy ever. You know, he's hard countered, man. They threw a ground type, or they threw an electric type at a ground type. What's Anel going to do? Yeah, you can go ahead and like try hitting with another move, but they can just earthquake you as well. So I think Loki Anel is the definition of hard counter. Like everyone else is hard counter to like some mid characters. Like this plant guy and Aokiji, they're hard countered by like guys in C and B tier. While Enel is countered by the guy that should be an S tier if he locked in. So yeah, and finally, the final character here, Crocodile. Loki, I don't think Crocodile is that strong, man. You may say I'm wrong. However, he does have sand powers, and he's not really hard countered by anyone. He's hard countered by water and like I guess bleeding. So if there was any bleeding, if the impel down guy is bleeding his power, then yeah, he's hard countered by him. However, I don't think that's his power, so I'm going to guess that he still was beat by like pre-time skip Luffy. He obviously could have had a time skip of his own, but I think he's weak, man. Yeah, he can barely be touched. But also, if anyone like has like a smidge of a brain, which I don't think Whitebeard's son probably has a smidge of a brain. I think he probably has like a peanut for a brain. Just looking at him, he just kind of doesn't look smart. But like still, I think anyone with a slight bit of a brain could be like, oh, you know, he's beat by water. Let's throw water at him. And even then, doesn't fire make glass? So low key, couldn't someone like Sabo or even Ace if he was still alive, just like shoot a fire blast at him and then he's dead because he becomes glass? Because like in Steven Universe they did that, and like Loki, I think he's done if he's getting beat by Steven Universe logic. Okay, and this is my tier list of power scaling One Piece characters or ranking every like strong One Piece character, I guess. Say if I well, don't say if I did anything wrong. Just say that you're really good at this, and don't spoil don't spoil any more for me. I'll get to Impel Down probably like it next week. Well, no, yeah, because I have school next week. Because I'm reading it at school, and Nami flashes me half the time, and I'm like, whoa, Nami, whoa, the video of like the dude in the library like watching the like like what's it like sister location Foxy or whatever, like and like the sister location Foxy's like kissing him, and he's like, oh yeah, oh yeah, I'm gooning right now. That's me, except I'm not gooning. I'm like respectively looking away every time Nami does. Every time someone does something weird in One Piece, I'm like, no, I don't like that actually. When the Nami bath scene in Thriller Bark happens, I'm like, no, I don't like that. I don't like that. And then I play chess because get my mind working. But yeah, so Impel Down like next week probably. If y'all want to see more One Piece stuff, I do like the card game. I've been getting into the card game a lot, which is kind of spoiling me on some stuff. But Loki, we don't care. We don't care. It's card game. I play one Pokemon all the time. I play Pokemon TCG all the time, and I haven't played Scarlet and Violet or the Mega Evolution game. So yeah, see y'all next time. If I post within a year. Goodbye, gang.